Well, this video is about some of the things that God has done for me in the past couple of years. Um, He's answered some prayers. He's took away. I've prayed for a long, long time that God will just somehow take my mother and turn her life around, because she was an alcoholic, and I didn't, honestly, I thought in my mind that there was no hope for her, because she drank pretty much most of her life away. Her kids were hurt. I know I special was. And it took so much prayer and just people praying and fasting for me to come to the point where I just forgave her. And I love her anyway, just the way that she is. Because that's how you're supposed to do anybody anyway. But with me meeting her daughter, it was hard because she was never really there when we were younger. And then when I grew up and I became an adult in my age, it just made it harder to realize. A recap of what Jesus has done in my life in just the last few years. He's answered my prayers. I prayed and I prayed that my family would be back in their church and they would be joyful and they would have a zeal for God like they never had before, more so than what they did have. My father, my stepmother, my sister, my stepbrother Gabriel, my little sister Violet Sunshine. I just prayed that they would come into church and have more intimacy with God. And then they came back, and not many people know, but when they came back, I bawled like a little girl, because inside of me I was just so happy. I didn't know how to express it. And another prayer that God has answered is, I was praying that I would have that moment where I met my brother Brandon. I knew he was out there. I knew his name. I really didn't know what he looked like. And I know my father was praying that he will one day meet him. And God placed him into my dad's life. And we got to meet him for the very first time. And now he's living with my dad. And it was just a great, exciting moment for me. Even though he didn't really know he had a sister, or had sisters and brothers. But I thank God for reuniting us. And another prayer God answered was, I prayed and prayed for my mother. Although in my head, where the battlefield is, I had that doubt of my mom ever coming to Christ seriously and quit drinking. But I would pray and pray for my spirit man. That's just what I wanted to do. And I prayed for her. I prayed that the alcohol would taste nasty and stuff like that. And I prayed that her soul would get saved. And lo and behold, she's saved, sanctified, and delivered from alcohol. And she's been going to church in Pullman where she lives. She's got a job now. She has money. She can not only just spend on herself, but she can spend on her family, her friends. And she's not tied down to the alcohol anymore. And God's continually breaking chains in her life. And that I say boldly, because Satan don't know who he's messing with. He's messing with the child of the king. And I'm about my Father's business. And Satan ain't about to get in my way. And another really awesome thing God answered my prayer to was I prayed for my brother Joshua, because I seen on his computer and stuff where he simply said he was gonna worship Satan if Satan gave him what he wanted. And I know, coming from where I came from, that Satan will not mess with you as long as you're playing in his playground, which is the world. But it's when you step into God's territory is when Satan is on his attack. And he said that he was going to serve Satan for the rest of his life. He didn't want nothing to do with church, nothing to do with God. And something inside me got bold. And I prayed and I prayed. And they say nothing like a mother's prayer. I gotta say there's nothing like a sister's prayer. Because I prayed and prayed and prayed for many years. And thank God he's in church now. He worships God. And I pray and he's doing it with his whole heart. And God's still breaking chains off of him as I speak to you now. And I thank God for bringing him closer to his throne. And God's been working in me. He's making me stronger in him. And I'm going to stand boldly for my King. Ain't nobody going to stop me. I'm going forward this year. And I thank God for what he has done. And I thank God for what he is going to do. I thank God for my hard times, for my good times. He's just so amazing. Alright, well, I hope you guys enjoy this recap of what God has done. That's a minimum of what he has done. Like, you guys don't even know. Alright, see ya. Peace out. Remember, prayer changes everything.